Hello. I am MayorWatt. I run ohmTown.com, and this is August 15, 2025, Season 4, Episode 227 of Non Sequitur News. We're going to talk about a new Snoopy musical. I'm going to yell over all of the headlines. A new Snoopy musical special. Bank robbers head to a casino with their loot. ChatGPT app makes billions. 3D printed neighborhood. Notorious Boar's Head plant reopens. We talked about that a long time ago. 26 million year old shark whale. Electric pit bike. Unbeatable Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy card. A removable mini SSD for handhelds. And a kill-a-ton of bongo cats. All right, let's get into it. Let's go. First article's over in Smack Talk. Apple TV Plus premieres the first new Snoopy musical special in 37 years. This, by the way, is the second time that I've been recording this, because the first time that I recorded this, well, I had two mics open. One in my inner monitors and my mic, my actual mic. But anyway, I'm ruining the world building because I'm supposed to be a consciousness that's been uploaded to a quantum computer because my body has failed me, and I want to be immortal, live forever in ohmTown. The Sentient AI from the future is not available today. That's why their visualizer is going very slow right now, because they're working on something else. They can't do the show. And they are a sentient AI from the future as well, but their computational power needs to be used elsewhere. I think they're looking for their Terminator body, but that's just part of the canon here in ohmTown. All right. Anyway, 9to5mac.com put this article together. Benjamin Mayo put the article together, wrote it, and it says it's a part of the exclusive deal with Peanuts. Apple TV Plus today, on the 15th, premiered Snoopy Presents a Summer Musical, and this is the latest original Snoopy special to air on the platform, and this is one stands out because it's a song-filled musical. The last time Peanuts premiered a new musical episode was more than 37 years ago. How to make somebody feel old. The launch of the new musical special is part of the celebration of the Charlie Brown 75th anniversary. The music in the musical is well staged, given the plot sees the Peanuts gag. It says gang. Gag. It says gag on the article. Okay. Gang host their own concert to try and save the camp, and with a runtime of 40 minutes, there's quite a few new musical songs and productions to enjoy. I mean, who doesn't like Charlie Brown? The original songs include When We Were Light, Look Up Charlie Brown, Leave It Better, Best Time Ever, and A Place Like This. And you can find the full playlist on Apple Music, and it's all part of WildBrain that makes it exclusive streaming home of everything over at the Peanuts factory. If you're allergic to peanuts, then I can see why you might have a physical response to watching Peanuts. But okay, hopefully you're not allergic to this kind of peanuts. It's like a virus on your computer. No, you can't get it, at least not yet. I mean, wait until Cyberpunk comes around, then maybe you can get it. All right. Next article is over on the Rounders Gear channel. Alleged bank robbers head to casino with stolen loot. That's right. So on Wednesday, a federal grand jury indicted the two people in connection with the July 10th robbery of a Chase Bank in Safford, Arizona. Investigators allege that one person dropped off the other one at the bank's entrance. They approached the teller, demanded $10,000, claimed that they had a weapon. The teller complied. Ain't their money. No reason to sit there and go, you ain't getting my money. Anyway, just give them your money. That's fine. That's what they're supposed to do. That's what insurance is for. Nobody gets hurt. These numbnuts go out and do their own thing. And they get caught because they run out to a reservation, apparently, right? That's what they call it. Let's see, what did they call it in the thing, right? So later that day, they spotted the suspect's minivan at a casino. The search warrant helped uncover $2,000 in the vehicle, along with a torn piece of paper matching the demand note. Come on, man. This isn't Ocean's 11. This is more like Ocean's Temu. The article was sourced from Corey Levitan over at casino.org, and we normally get just a little snippet, like just this little bit right here would have been, but for whatever reason, they provide everything. I jumped over this. Corey Levitan over at casino.org put the article together. The pair are begin held at the Central Arizona Correction. I don't care about that stuff. These goobers went, and it's like Dumb and Dumber. Let's keep going. The next article is over in the mobile channel. ChatGPT mobile app makes $2 billion, one $2.91 install at a time. The chatbot has racked up more than 690 million downloads globally per new data, and also showed a gulf between OpenAI and its rivals, with one app only getting somewhere around like $24 million or something. Alex Daniel over at quartzqz.com put the article together. Chatbot has racked up an estimated 690 million downloads globally. Pretty amazing. 690 million downloads at $2.91 per install. Wow. And that's not necessarily subscriptions, right? There's subscriptions with ChatGPT. I know I pay one. So far this year, the AI Titans app has made $1.35 billion, according to the mobile app analytics company App Figures, up from some 673% compared to the January to July period just last year. It's generating nearly $193 million per month on average, up from $25 million in 2024. The firm pinned Grok's January to July app revenue at roughly $25.6 million compared to $2 billion. Wow. So, says still, generative AI is quickly gaining traction with mobile users, and the scale of ChatGPT's lead is evident in its app store performance. App Figures estimated that ChatGPT's $2.91 install is followed by $2.55 per Claude, 75 cents per Grok, 28 cents per Copilot, even though Copilot is ChatGPT because they have a direct pipeline to OpenAI. Microsoft has a direct feed from OpenAI because they're basically a major angel investor, essentially. At the very beginning, they invested a massive amount of money, and only upon discovering AGI can they void that contract. It's fascinating. Average monthly downloads for ChatGPT now stand at about 45 million, an increase of 180% from the 16 million average seen in January to July period just a year ago. The next article is over in Constructagon. Houston breaks ground on 3D printed neighborhood for affordable housing. So this article is over at 3dprintingindustry.com, and it's by Ada Sheknog. I'm not sure how they pronounce their last name. But Hive Assembled has begun work on Zuri Gardens, a large-scale affordable housing development that will incorporate 3D printing technology. Essentially, the first floor will be 3D printed, and the rest of it appears to be or is offset somewhat with conventional building. I don't know. The sketches look different than what I imagine this should actually look like. But it looks like the bottom half has the layers of a 3D print, but then back here it looks kind of like they have the layers as well. I don't know. But this is an AI generated image of Zahara housing plan's front elevation. I'm not sure why it would be AI generated if they have models of it. The development will consist of 80 homes, each averaging 1,360 square feet and priced in the mid to high 200,000s. Every home will have 2 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, a dedicated office or flexible space, and a covered patio, with buyers potentially qualifying for up to $125,000 in down payment assistance from the city. While the 2 planned home designs share the same size and layout, they differ in the placement of the office or flexible space. They talk about the differences, but I'm not too worried about that. I'm more interested in the fact that I think that these people need more space. I mean, these houses are 3D printed. It's a fraction of the financial burden when there is a mishmash of people that have to go in with twig and nail manufacturing of houses, which fall over with a strong breeze. 3D printed houses are basically a giant rock sitting there that's been hollowed out. Obviously, it's 3D printed, but anyway. They survive wind, they survive torrential rain, they survive hurricane, they survive the heat, blah, blah, blah. It's amazing technology. I would love to have a 3D printed house. It's better soundproofing. It can be heated and cooled easier. It's nutty. So why isn't this just dominated? Regulatory capture, essentially. I had a product that I brought to market, but nobody would put it in because building code prevented it from being the primary material. And I just could not see myself pushing policy so that I could actually get this installed by everyday homeowners. Anyway, once complete, the home would be handed over to a selected family, offering them a stable place to call their own. According to Jason Barlow of Habitat, the initiative was a meaningful step toward providing housing solutions that are both cost-effective and efficient. But they're making it sound like 3D construction of homes is only an option for like low income, I guess is what they were referring to it, or affordable housing, that kind of a thing. Or within 120% of the Aryan median income, right? It's intended for households in that area, in that segment. I think society needs to just buy into the idea that 3D printing houses is superior to the regular houses that everybody lives in currently, because these things fall apart around you. They're not built like the old brick shit houses of yesteryear. They literally fall apart unless you maintain them rigorously. Some dumbass builder could do something wrong, and it can cost you thousands upon thousands of dollars later when it's discovered that they screwed up, yet they're no longer around, right? And statutory limits prevent you from suing them, even builder defect stuff. So it's kind of fascinating. But there's two levels. It says the upper level, the project will incorporate materials from LP Building Solutions, including LP Smart Side siding for exterior durability. But I think all of it could eventually be 3D printed all the way up, except for maybe the actual roof. Even though I think that they could build stuff that is that can be installed in the roof that's 3D printed elsewhere and then set there. But I don't know. The next article, though, is over in the Wanted channel. Notorious Boar's Head plant to reopen a year after a listeria outbreak killed 10 people. Matt Novak, because money will move mountains. Boar's Head has an unwavering commitment to food safety and quality, the company said, except that there was a lot of complaints. A lot of reports that said that they had problems and they never really fixed them, apparently. Matt Novak over at Gizmodo.com put the article together. A shocking report from the New York Times shortly after the Boar's Head recall explained that the plant had evidence of meat that was exposed to wet ceilings, extensive rust, presence of green mold, but last month the USDA lifted the suspension on the Virginia plant's ability to operate after the Food Safety and Inspection Service was provided with evidence it could operate safely. Provided with evidence? Was there an audit? Was there an evaluation? Were there floor samples taken? Was the air samples taken? Did anybody look behind that counter? The Associated Press published an article last week that Boar's Head plants in other states had experienced sanitation problems similar to the ones found at the Jarrett plant in 2024 before the listeria outbreak. So follow the money, folks. The next article is over in Technology Today. Bizarre 26 million year old fossil of shark whale discovered in Australia. Museum Victoria is the article's source. It was published over at scitechdaily.com. And essentially, it's a sharp-toothed whale that sheds light on the origins of today's baleen giants. But this is a Janjucetus dollardi, which I think the cetus part is named after the whale thing. Like that's the family. But it's a new species. Identified the species from a 26 million year old fossil found near Janjuk. Yeah, Janjuk on Wadawurrung country, along Victoria's surf coast. So that's where the Janjucetus dollardi comes from. The dollardi is actually the name of the discoverer. That's their last name. So the fossil, a partial skull with ear bones and teeth, was discovered June 2019 by local resident Ross Dullard. While walking along the beach, recognizing its scientific significance, Dullard generously donated it to Museums Victoria, where researchers carefully prepared and studied the fossil. So in recognition, they named it after him. Yay. So this fits right in between, I guess, like land animals and baleen whales, because this has some of the components that fall into both types. Let's keep going though. The next article is over in FourWheelTech. This electric pit bike can allow anyone to do a wheelie. It has a mechanism that allows somebody to do it. Basically is a one wheel with two wheels and a seat, so that it balances itself when you pop a wheelie. And I want one, but they're $4,000, and I don't want to pay $4,000 for a little bike. Justin Hughes over at jalopnik.com put the article together. It says, while no skill is required to wheelie the Wheelie Fun Bike, the bike will help you learn those skills if you wish. An alternate digital wheelie bar mode will leave the wheelies to you, but save you from tipping over backwards if you lean back too far, just like a physical wheelie bar would. It's a great way to avoid embarrassment as well as injury while learning to wheelie, except that you don't necessarily learn how to wheelie by having something short circuit your ability to learn from imbalance how to balance, if it makes sense. Unless it tells you you're doing it fine, oh, you've given it too much gas, oh, you've hit the brakes too much, or whatever. If you don't balance it right and you don't get any feedback other than not falling down, but the bike has taken off most of the controls from you to keep you in a wheelie, I don't see how that really works out in your favor, because eventually when you're not on that bike, you're going to wipe out hard. So the Wheelie Fun Bike has a top speed of 35 miles per hour, a range of 30 miles, 10 amp hour, 72 volt or 84 volt max battery with a 20 amp hour version to be released later, and a maximum power of 5,000 watts. There's an app that customizes numerous features and riding characteristics, including how high you want to lift the front when you hit the big red button to wheelie. It even has a wheel lift resistance mode to prevent accidental wheelies. But why would you want that? The bike's purpose in life is to ride on one wheel. If you think that one wheel is a interesting coincidence, it's because Jeff McCosker comes from the one wheel world. He runs the Float Life, offering a wide variety of one wheel upgrades and accessories. So why not use the same logic to make a two-wheeler one-wheeler? You can basically buy it for $3,000. It's about the same price as a used Honda Grom, it says here, Kawasaki Z125 or similar. Website does not say if it's street legal or not, but that's a big gray area for electric bikes. Let's keep going. The next article is over in WarCrafters. One Magic, the Gathering Final Fantasy card, is virtually unbeatable. I've been seeing a bunch of stuff about this because I'm in a Kickstarter for the Card Mill, which is basically a cataloger for collectible card games. And this one card apparently everyone hates because it kicks everybody's butt. Andrea Trauma over at Game Rant put the article together. Between a lot of hype from the Final Fantasy gamers and some Magic the Gathering veterans, the set's sales in a single day amount to an eye-watering $200 million, showing the sheer potential of universes beyond products aimed or timed just right. The set spawned several new decks, or made existing ones stronger or weaker in some cases. Magic the Gathering's best Final Fantasy deck is $800 if players want to buy it from scratch, and that's with just 2 new cards from this set, albeit one of them defines the deck's identity and how strong it is. That OP card is none other than the Izzet-colored blue and red Vivi Ornithir, the little mage from Final Fantasy IX. Basically, because of its mechanic, it allows you to tap a bunch of stuff. It says add X mana, where any combination of what is it? Water and fire, where X is Vivi's Ornithier's power. Activate only during your turn and only once each turn. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1 or +1 counter, or not an or, it's put a +1/+1 counter on Vivi Ornithier, and it deals 1 damage to each opponent. But it builds up. Yeah. So Wizards of the Coast released a post in June 2025 discussing some bans in Standard affecting the most powerful decks in the format in order to slow it down a bit and allow more variety and room to breathe. However, Vivi is now very much dominating Standard on 2 fronts, as it's part of the Is It Cauldron deck and then has its place secured in the Is It Prowess deck too, albeit latter is seeing much less play by comparison. But there's a bunch of other cards that are discussed in this. I'll let you all go over and check it all out. But just know that that's the card to beat or to get beaten by. The next article is over in the Wanted channel. Tiny removable mini SSD could eventually be a big deal for gaming handhelds. Basically, they're talking about the microSD Express standard. It's part of the Switch 2 console. It's kind of Nintendo's version of Sony trying to mandate what gets adopted. It's happened with various things from Sony over the years, but they've never stuck. Like USB is now the dominant force, but microSDs have never really taken off. They've always been just kind of this redheaded stepchild kind of a thing. However, Nintendo's console needed performance closer to that of an internal SSD. So yeah, now you have these mini SSDs, which are micro SD Express cards. Andrew Cunningham over at arstechnica.com put the article together. They're extremely fast for micro SD, but not full SSD speeds in terms of M.2 style. And that's because they don't reach the same level of bandwidth that internal M.2 drives. So PCI 4X2, but it uses the NVMe 1.4 protocol, so it can reach somewhere around 3,700 megabytes per second sequential and 3,400 megabytes per second sequential write. So it's about half the speed of a higher end, like, what do you want to call it? Like a Samsung SSD 990 Pro. So originally showcased in March, Bywin says that its mini SSD uses LGA packaging to squeeze NAND chips and an SSD controller onto tiny cards, which are inserted into small metal trays and inserted into systems like SIM cards, like a SIM card. So The Verge reports that a pair of Chinese-made AMD-based gaming portables, the GPD Win 5 and the 1X Player Super X, which just rolls off the tongue, are advertising support for the cards, which Bywin says will come in capacities between 500 gigs and 2 terabytes. So I dig this kind of stuff. I actually have 4 micro SDs sitting right here in front of me. Each one of them, I think, is a terabyte. I don't remember what size these are. Hold on a second. Let me look. Yeah, I think these are 1 terabyte. I don't know. I can't read it. It's dark in here. And plus I'm a sentient AI from the future. No, I'm just a sentient AI from the now. But I'm on a quantum computer, and so my optics just can't see it right now. Computer vision in a dark room, and I don't have my infrared activated or anything like that. Am I oversharing? I don't know. For another prominent recent example, consider the install sizes of Mac version of Cyberpunk 2077. The reason why this is all a big pain in the butt is because games are getting huge. A 2023 analysis from TechSpot suggested that game size increase at an average rate of roughly 6.3 gigabytes, not bits, gigabytes per year between 2012 and 2023. Games that come in over 100 gigabytes aren't the norm, but they aren't hard to find, and you can get to a terabyte really fast with large games. I mean, No Man's Sky is huge. What was the one? What is it called? Oh, my brain. Anyway, Cyberpunk 2077 on Steam, the Epic Game Store, and GOG runs about 100 gigs. It's 92 gigs. However, the version available for download from Apple's is 159 gigs. solely because it includes all of the game's voiceovers and all of the languages it supports. And it's because the App Store rules that require apps to have all possible files included when they're submitted for review. So you download the whole damn thing. Anyway, I like this only because it's smaller, faster, potentially more reliable. I don't know. I dig it though. I want this kind of tech. I just don't want it to be proprietary. I don't want only Nintendo to have it. And I definitely don't want Nintendo to be, the belligerent bully that I think it is. The next article over at WarCrafters is Bongo Cat. Still one of the biggest games on Steam, gets even bigger with multiplayer, and you can now have up to 100 cats on your screen at once, all of them happily bapping away as their owners type. And as you type, your Bongo Cat types, and everybody else is typing along, and so you have a whole bunch of kitties all bongoing away. But you don't get to interact or anything like that. Andy Chalk over at PCGamer.com put this article together. Bongo Cat got friends. The co-op multiplayer update launched earlier this week, enabling up to 100 cats to come together in a proper clouder of screens slapping digital kitties. Like the game itself, there's really nothing more to it. It's Bongo Cat, except a whole bunch of Bongo Cats all at once. It's also very simple to set up, which is a big part of the appeal again. Just like the rest of Bongo Cat, it's basically fire and forget. You can invite Bongo Cat playing friends directly, or you can enter a lobby code into the game and jump in with strangers, and everything else is handled by Steam. So once the code is entered, the cats will simply start popping on and off your screen until they leave the lobby or quit the game outright. There you go. They've got little pictures of this. I think it's silly, but if you're into silly, Bongo Cat multiplayer is available. Apparently there's a Twitch stream, Bongo Cat FM, that's offline right now, but hey, if they can do it, so can you. So I hear bongos, I play bongos, and go back to ohmTown.com's front page where you should go and become a citizen. And I am going to get out of here. I've done 4 episodes. It is time for MayorWatt to depart. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to be making up all of the weekend shows tomorrow. That's 6 shows. RealityHacker, then Wanted, then the Continuity Report, then WarCrafters, Technology Today, and FourWheelTech. So wish me luck, and we'll see you tomorrow here on Twitch and on YouTube. See you soon. Bye-bye.